Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel, and welcome to another episode of JANK-O-RAMA. And we cannot have a video or a series of videos looking at jank stuff without having Street Fighter the movie in there. Now this is as janky as they come. So when this fighting games boom started in the arcade, and it really started with Street Fighter 2, that's when everyone wanted a piece of that Street Fighter pie. And then Mortal Kombat came on the scene, and guess what? Street Fighter wanted a piece of that Mortal Kombat pie. Now so Street Fighter movie that came out, if you've not seen it guys, it's worth watching. It is so bad, it is so bad that it is almost good, if you know what I mean. You know, when you have something, it's terrible but you kind of like it. And honestly, this is just so bad. The characters are wrong. So the storyline of the actual movie goes, Colonel William Guile, who leads an army of soldiers into the country of Shadaloo to find M. Bison, who's captured people, including 3 missing soldiers. One of them is Carlos Charlie Blanca. That's right. Guile's buddy Charlie, who was murdered by Bison, was turned into Blanca, and unfortunately Blanca's not in this game. Blanca's one of my favorite Street Fighter characters out there. Often when I play a new game, it's usually Blanca. Blanca's the one is always my first choice. I do other characters as well. I like Sagat, I even like Colonel Guile, but Blanca's always my favorite in there. Unfortunately, he's not selectable in this game, neither is the housing. Now there's a roster of characters in here, including a couple of new ones, but guys, this game's just, it just sucks. Now you can kind of enjoy it in a guilty pleasure kind of way, but it is just bad. Now this was out in the arcade. I remember when it came out in the arcade, it was a big machine in the arcade, and you know what, it was double the money to play. It wasn't 50p a credit, which was kind of the normal at that time in central London. This was £1 a pop. You wanted to play this, you better get your pound ready. And this is when locally in our area, an arcade machine, a credit was either 20 or 30p, most commonly 20p. 50p was central London prices, and £1 was this game. And honestly, like when I played this in the arcade when it came out, I put my pound in because hey man, it's Street Fighter, we love Street Fighter. And yeah, you just felt kind of cheated. You felt your money could have gotten a lot further. It's just, yeah, it's just not that great. This game was actually released for the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, and it wasn't made by the Japanese Capcom as we know it, but this game was developed by a Chicago-based Incredible Technologies, and distributed in the arcades by Capcom. Now you can actually play this multiplayer on Fightcade, and believe it or not, some people do actually play it. When I check it out, there's people playing this. If you do want to check it, now some of the stuff in here, like you can hear a tiger roar when Sagat does like a tiger shot. So there are some things in there. I kind of like this stage. Out of all the stages, this is my favorite stage. Those people there just kind of look alright, and then you've got the 2 guys there with bandanas moving different arms. And yeah, this is as janky as it comes. It kind of reminds me of Super Turbo, but a lot worse in FMV. It's definitely worth checking out. Like, the jank is worth checking out. Here we got Honda versus Zangief, and it is just, it's just bad, but it's so bad you got to play it. So definitely deserves to be in this series of JANK-O-RAMA. Do let me know if you played this game. I wanted to know if there was ever an arcade scene. In the arcades I went to, there was always a scene for Street Fighter. There was a scene for King of Fighters. I wasn't playing too many King of Fighters, but I was kind of playing Street Fighter quite a bit. I mean, the main Street Fighter I played was years and years later. It was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. But I never saw anyone really playing this in the arcade, apart from, hey, it's Street Fighter, it's FMV, it's new, let's try it out. And I think once people tried it out, they didn't like it. But this is very, very decent to play. It'd be nice to get an FPGA core of this. It's not out, and I know it's not really one that's highly sought after, but hey, why not get an accurate version of it? But there's a whole bunch of games I would actually prefer to get a core of FPGA, but on the Mister, sorry, or the Analog Pocket. An FPGA device is what I mean. So we've got like stages. We've got, like we said, the housing's mentioned here in one of the stages, but he's not actually in the game, and I wonder how they've done that, because I wondered to myself, what would an FMV Dalsim look like? So they've obviously left Dalsim and Blanca out from the game, which I would have liked. This is one of the newer characters in this Sawada. To be honest, it's a while since I've seen the movie, but it is something I should really revisit. It's got one of the best lines in there where, if you haven't seen it, this is a bit of a spoiler alert, but Chun-Li mentions to Bison that you came to my village, I remember you like murdered my father, and yada yada yada. And Bison says the day that Bison came to your village was the most important day to you in your whole life. but for me it was just Tuesday. And that's something I've often used at work, where I've said, you know, this is really, really important to me, it's Tuesday. And a couple of times people have got the reference, but generally it goes above people's head. But it's just one of those things I like doing at work sometimes. But guys, that's it. This was another episode of JANK-O-RAMA, where Chief Jank Street Fighter game, Street Fighter movie, still worth checking out. Do share your thoughts about it, whether you played it, whether are you going to play it after seeing it. And that's really it, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is super appreciated. I'll see you guys around. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.